Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Friday, January 9th, 2026. It's been a blessing to be together with all of you, all of these mornings for almost 6 years, finding each other every single morning. Lydia and Jonathan, Larry and Susie, Barbara and Arlene. Penny, thank you. It is broadcast 1466. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good to see all of you. Cynthia and Deborah, Boker Tov. It's good to see you. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Tara. Joyce, Joyce and Arlene, Boker Tov friends. Nice to see all of you. Hi, Susie. Marilyn and Jacqueline, Dave. Good morning. Camille. Nice to see you. Hi, George. Dave and Sandy, Fabrice and Rose. Boker Tov, everybody. Good to see all of you. Hi, Eileen. Let's take a breath. We're going to sing a bracha, learn some Torah. Here we go. Oh, Arlene, you are sharing that you are going to Israel tomorrow night on a UJA mission. Travel safely. Carry us in your hip pocket. Carry us with you. Hi, Barry. Hi, Linda. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Cecile. Hi, Al. Nice to see you. Ella, it's our privilege. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ay la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu לעסוק בדברי תורה, לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. לילה 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 Good morning, everybody. It's good to see all of you. Lydia, I think I saw that it's your birthday. Happy birthday, my friend. Let's learn some Torah. In Parshat Shemot, where we are right now, the beginning of the book of Exodus, we see the character of Moshe. He's born, and he is protected by his mother, saved by his sister, rescued by Pharaoh's daughter, named by Pharaoh's daughter. And there he is, growing up in Pharaoh's palace. Then we are told almost immediately that he went out to the fields and saw his brethren, his sisters and brothers, in the fields. Now we have to imagine that his childhood, his education, his acculturation is complicated because he is both a child of the Israelites and he's being raised as a prince of Egypt. How does he experience what he sees? Does he experience the suffering of others? Now, what happens immediately is when he sees an Egyptian taskmaster beating a Hebrew slave, he kills the Egyptian taskmaster. And we don't know if what caused his rage, what caused Moshe's violent response, was that he saw his own brothers and sisters suffering, or he saw a human being suffering. But I would suggest that regardless of which of those reads is correct, and it matters which one it is, but regardless of which one is the correct read of the text, There is something essential that happens within Moshe when he sees the subjugation of another. I'm going to read a small excerpt of a very famous essay by Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik. I've been learning it with some of my UJ learning groups recently. It's from 1956, and the talk is called Kol Dodi Dofek, The Voice of the Beloved is Knocking. Soloveitchik is quoting the Song of Songs and arguing that God enters into history, and that what we must do with hardship when we face it, and with harm and violence when we see it, is respond. And he uses the model in part of the book of Job, because Job was a good person who still suffered. Listen to this short paragraph. You were a sound and just man, Job, God-fearing and avoiding evil. You did not use your power and wealth for ill. You gave much charity. However, loving kindness encompasses more than fleeting sentiment and cheap sentimentality. What is he saying here? He's saying, you, Job, a person with means, you took care of your family and you didn't actively hurt somebody. But loving kindness, what we call chesed, is more than a feeling and cheap sentimentality. Listen to the end of the paragraph. Chesed, love, demands more than a momentary tear and cold coin. Chesed means empathizing with one's fellow man, identifying with their hurt, and feeling responsibility for their fate. You did not bear the communal yoke, nor did you participate in the trouble and grief of the community. More than a momentary tear and a cold coin. Love means empathy. When we witness, friends, when we witness violence in the world, cruelty in the world, suffering in the world, by which I'm thinking primarily right now about Minneapolis, but not only, by which I mean our sisters and brothers in the Jewish community all over the world, especially Israel, by which I mean the uncertainty right now in Venezuela, by which I mean right now the uprising happening in Iran. Love means empathy. This section that I'm reading of Soloveitchik, he calls Job's failure. But he believes that Job's redemption happens when Job understands the nature of Jewish prayer and what it is to seek the welfare of the other. The verse from Job chapter 42, verse 10, that Soloveitchik quotes is, and God changed the fortunes of Job when he prayed for his friends. Jewish prayer, Jewish learning, Jewish values embody what we see happening through Moshe, regardless of which read of the text fits best. Moshe responds when he sees someone else being hurt, when he sees suffering and cruelty. The great Abraham Joshua Heschel said famously, I refuse to be accommodated to a violent world. I will be shocked, and should be, when I see violence taking place. We see, friends, the world writhing with cruelty, with abuse of power, and whatever your political leanings, the ubiquity, the omnipresence of lethal force in American communities, and the complicated way that we see power being contested, exercised in Ukraine, elsewhere, we must be shocked. We can never become used to cruelty and violence. This is not okay. It's not all the same. It can't be painted with one broad stroke. But it is absolutely not okay Moshe walked into the field, and whether he knew it was his brother or whether it was someone else's brother, children of God, images of God, every one of us, it should raise our concern, so much so that we respond. Because the way that Job failed, according to Soloveitchik, is he took care of himself. He took a Hippocratic oath. He did no harm. I'm not hurting anyone. Well, by not paying enough attention, I am. I bear the responsibility for the other. Moshe models the way. It costs him dearly. What are you willing to risk on behalf of your fellow human being? Friends, that's a real question. Moshe poses the question to us this week. The greatness he achieves is not promised, and he did not have a simple life because he chose to stand in the breach and respond with shock to the subjugation of another. We should think about this. This is where our hearts should be right now. I invite us to take a deep breath because I know I didn't calm us going into Shabbos. I did put on my white shirt. I am feeling the gift of Shabbat coming. But this Parsha is the beginning of a liberation story. And liberation has to begin with a commitment to our fellow person. Yes, standing in my position, my focus is often, predominantly, sometimes just about our Jewish world. My heart is still on Bondi Beach. My heart is still at Nova. My heart is outside of shuls where anti-Semitic protests are happening. And my heart is on the streets of American cities where vulnerable people are suffering terribly at the hands of power. We should be holding all of this. So let's hold all of this. If we call him Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe our teacher, we should be good students. So let's do our best. Let's take a breath, send our hearts to the east. Kolon baleva penima nefesh Yehudi homia unafate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים. Am Yisrael Chai. See you on Monday. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.